Yeah, this premise that you shared, like so many of us are, uh, physically mature psychological children. As adults, I guess I often try to use adult as like a verb, as like an action, and that
Mm,
we adult when we are confronted by circumstances or a context that would otherwise and has generally caused us to react or respond in a childish way. That's not childlike. I mean
yeah,
childish, the way an underdeveloped psychologically, person would,
yeah.
and that we choose instead to show up with an adult sense of responsibility, which includes, like an understanding of ourselves nested in a sort of larger order of relationship and not just about me and my needs and my immediate perceptions or interpretations, that is. Um,
For sure.
so I like that, especially too, thinking about the hero's journey. For all the criticisms that the book I think is, warrants, there's a book I read many years ago called Lover, King, Magician, Warrior, Lover, something to this effect.
Yeah, yeah.
And they talk about the hero's journey and outline it like the hero's journey is, the is the what's specifically about man's psychology is the process by which a boy becomes a man. It's the process by which a child becomes an adult. It's not the journey an adult is supposed to be living, right? Like
Mm,
once we exit childhood, we're supposed, like, the rest of the story happens once the hero returns, and that's adulting. And it is very common that I think, because so many of us are children, we think that the hero's journey is the way the adult is supposed to live, when actually it's the process we're supposed to go to in order to get to adulting at all.
mm. Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, that makes total sense. Yeah. I know in some, I was living in Darwin for 5 years and I was talking to some of my indigenous friends and, when they run kids through law, they're like 14. They go out to the bush for like 6 weeks and then they come back and they're like, all right, you're an adult now and here's your responsibilities. So it's like 6 weeks, uh, that your childhood basically comes to an end. But with us in the West, I think it's still going, right. 40 is new 30. So, right on.
What's the there's a there's a term. Uh, it's not it's not nepotism. That's a totally different thing.
A
Oh,
neoteny.
neoteny. That's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
where we
Axolotls.
axel what? How does that relate to
Axolotl is the Mexican
axolotls?
walking fish. It's like
Yeah,
in
yeah.
a permanent state of neoteny.
Oh, that's interesting. So for the listeners, neoteny is where, like, evolutionarily by, uh, by selective breeding, say, or through just, the pressure of evolution, um, organisms maintain infantile or childlike behaviors or expressions into adulthood. This is what we've done to make dogs cute and cuddly into adulthood, where a wolf, which is all all domestic dogs are the same species. They're all Canis lupus familiaris, which is the domesticated version of Canis lupus, the gray wolf. We've we've selectively bred them through neoteny to, or with the intention of neoteny, to have them be like puppies and cuddly and able to be housebroken, domesticated,
Yeah,
well into
yeah.
adulthood. And we humans have kind of accidentally done this to ourselves as well.
Yeah, 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 that's true. But I wonder how many generations it takes to flip back to that wild state. And I wonder if, like, because, humans have the longest gestation period in terms of their, their infant stage and their child stage, potentially, I guess, to accommodate the fact that we are more advanced neurologically and all that sort of stuff. So maybe I was thinking maybe this extended adolescence that we're all in has some kind of greater function that we can't fully see yet.
Mm.
Um, I guess I don't know what that is exactly, and there's many arguments that support that it could be a de-evolution. But I don't know. You wonder, like, maybe this extended adolescence that we're all going through has some sort of use in the longer term. But yeah, I have no idea.
Mm.
Yeah.
I mean, evolution isn't a straight line. Nothing exists in a straight line except for the invention of our imagination, that humans that have decided that things
Yeah.
exist on a linear progression, which clearly is just
Construct, apparently.
not the
Yeah.
case, a construct. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you eat enough peyote, it becomes a circle, apparently. That's according to a peyote shaman I talked to.